work for one of the most, probably famous and recognizable luxury brands. What are some other signs of quality that, women should know or can look for, and kind of some common things that we buy, like a bag or a pair of shoes?
So one of the main things, I like to, when I look at a product, whether it be a handbag, whether it be a wallet, whether it be a pair of shoes, I like to know where it's made. That's kind of my patriotic sense.
Yeah.
And when I see something that's made in France or made in Italy or made in USA even, it's different than something where you're going to see made in Philippines or made in China. And I'm not saying that they can't have quality products, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first kind of to know where the price point is, and do I feel that it's justified. I'm willing to pay more if we're giving money to people that are well paid. I'm not as much inclined to do so if I know that it's in China where people are unfortunately being paid very, very little.
Right, so you're paying like artisans, like true
exactly.
Craftsmen, like in France,
Correct.
who really know how to work with that silk or that thread or that metal or whatever it is.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So you look for where it's made, and then
so that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing I'm going to look at is pretty much indeed the stitching that you were talking about. One of the best signs of quality is that stitching should be consistent in terms of the distance from one hole to the next,
so
and
nice
that's
and
something
even.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're not going sideways; it's very straight lines,
right?
And that's going to be one of the important factors. On leather products, I always like to look at the quality of the leather. Is the leather smooth? Is it a covered leather? Are there creases on the leather?
Yeah.
A lot of lower point brands are able to have a lower price point because the material they're choosing isn't top quality. So the leather can be scratched.
Yeah.
I actually have an example if you want.
Yeah, so you can ask somebody, though, if you're in a store and so you don't know if it's like covered leather or whatever, you could ask them,
right,
what is this, right?
Exactly. And that's another quality is the people that are selling, if they know their product, they'll be able to give you the right information, important information. Well,
and they're educated and they're passionate about it, too. I feel like that's something you really find going into stores in Paris or anywhere in France. They're excited to, they put all this stuff on you and they're excited to show you because they're really proud of it.
Correct. So the secret of the Macintosh, Noelle, is that it is waterproof, and that's important in Paris when it rains.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that it rains a lot in Paris. Is that it actually has these pieces of fabric that are actually glued by ultrasound. So they're put over the seams of the jacket.
So ultrasound meaning the same thing that...
An ultrasound that's going to activate the glue and that will keep it on the seams. And so all the seams are waterproofed, which is what makes them...
So all throughout here...
Exactly. Which means that the water will not go through the seams, which is one of the areas where they technically could.
Right. So there's no way that... Yeah.
Exactly.
That... You're going to stay nice and dry.
Exactly, and that's one of the features on high-end products. Is usually the detailing inside is as beautiful as the detailing outside. And on this one, the ultrasound positioning of this textile over the seams really makes the difference.
So it's all those things, like when you go for a little bit higher price point, whether it's a luxury brand or not. It's those things that you don't see, like stitching or the lining or whatever, or the buttons that are reinforced on the other side with, oh, here we go, little small buttons. I tell a lot of my clients that when you're buying like a winter coat, something that you really need to stand the test of time because you wear it so much, the buttons should be reinforced with small little buttons on the other side so that they're not going to come undone.
So this is actually a boot that is made in USA. So for me, that's something important.
Yeah.
With Horween Leather, which is a Chicago-based company that makes leather, and it's a very nice leather. But unfortunately, when you look at it closely, you can tell that they've decided, and again, this has a lower price point, but they've decided that they were using some lower quality leathers, and you can see it at this point the leather is actually creased. I don't know if the camera sees that well.
So you can see it's got some creases, and you haven't even worn them yet. So this isn't from like normal wear.
This is a brand new boot that hasn't been worn, and that's originally creased on the leather. So, and you know, on the main part of the shoe, they put very nice leather, very well with no scratches. But this is going to be probably closer to the shoulder of the leather, and so it's gonna crack like this.
Yeah. So already before you've even had it on, it's
exactly. Yeah. So that would be something that you would
to look for.
To look exactly to make sure that you're not having that on the leather product.
Right. Exactly.